G'day, Professor Joseph Drew here. I've talked on other videos about financial sustainability and how absolutely critical it is to your community. In this video, I'm going to try to explain why you'll get different perspectives depending on who you talk to, and there's really good reasons for it. So stay tuned and you'll find out. So just quick reminder, financial sustainability is about meeting the reasonable expectations of your current residents without putting at risk the needs of future generations. I have a whole video on this. If you're unclear about the term, I suggest you watch that video first. So let's have a look at these groups of people. An auditor, what are they doing? They're almost entirely looking backwards to see what's already happened and to see whether you're financially sustainable in the past. And from that, they might give you some ideas about what they think will happen in the next 12 months. They're not trying to look to that next generation of local government taxpayers who need to be able to meet their reasonable needs. They're not even attempting to look at that. They're attempting to look at what's happened, what's going to happen over the next 12 months. That's it. And there's another really important thing about auditors, and they're governed by a set of standards called the Australian Auditing Standards, which is made by the AASB, the board that looks at the standards. And what they're interested in is reasonable assurance, not total or absolute assurance or total or absolute confidence, just reasonable assurance. That's all they're trying to do. Okay, and compare that now to me or another local government scholar that might be helping you out and looking and talking about your financial sustainability. We differ a lot. I'm interested in the past, yes, and I'm certainly interested in the present, but my view is 10 years out, like your long-term financial plan, at least 10 years out. I'm really looking at that long-term financial sustainability. You know what else is different? I have a lot of sector knowledge and theory knowledge and knowledge about macroeconomics. I can quite accurately predict what's going to happen in the macroeconomic economy in terms of rates, in terms of inflation, in terms of PPI and wage indexes, because that's my training. I'm an economist. I know what's likely to happen in sectors because of certain interventions, because I've written lots of scholarly papers on how different interventions affect local government. In fact, 80 peer-reviewed publications. And there's one more really important difference between me and an auditor. I'm not interested in reasonable assurance. I don't want to be reasonably okay that you'll make it. I want to be absolutely certain that you'll make it, that you're safe, that your community is safe. Very different perspective. Now compare it to another group, your CFO, your accountant, your director of accounting or finance, whatever you call it in your particular local government, and their quarterly budget reviews. What are they doing there? They're entirely looking rearward. That's what they're meant to be looking at. I guess they've got to look 12 months for the going concern, and we might get them involved in a long-term financial plan, in which case they're giving you some predictions and guidance 10 years along. But principally, they're looking backwards and telling you about what has already happened. And moreover, your CFO is meant to be blinkered and totally thinking about your particular council, not comparing you to other councils like I would or an auditor might, depending how many other councils they're auditing. Your accountant is only focused on your particular council. Now, that's what they're meant to be doing. And if they're doing, that's great. That's the job they're meant to be doing. But you need to be very careful that you understand the perspective of each one of these three people if they're talking to you. And then you'll understand why their messages are differing. You know, as I said, the auditor, rearward facing, a little bit maybe 12 months in the future, some comparisons with some other councils. Me, past, present, and 10 years into the future. And I'm not interested in reasonable assurance like an auditor. I want to be absolutely certain, absolutely assured. And your accountant on the whole, looking 1 year back and focus myopically on your particular council. 3 different perspectives, you're going to get 3 different messages. You need to find out what message you're actually interested in and talk to the appropriate person. Now, I hope this video has been helpful for you and the person who asked this question. I hope you now understand that what I'm saying might be very different to what your accountant is saying and very different to your auditor and what they're saying, but there's a really good reason. I'm interested in absolute assurance. I want your community to be absolutely certain they're safe. And I'm interested not just in the past, not just now, but for the whole next 10 years. It's a very different perspective, and I believe it's an incredibly important perspective, and probably the perspective you're really chasing if you're even thinking about talking to someone like me. Hope this helps. If it has, please flick it to someone else, and please subscribe and give me the thumbs up. Thank you. Goodbye.